This is where the fun begins.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of the Sithcast podcast, a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything Star Wars. I'm one of your hosts, PJ, the Paradox Nerd. Sean Solo is in the chat. Unfortunately, he can't be here tonight because he is moving into a new house. So, Sean, again, this is maybe week 7 or 8 that we don't have you on this show, but we miss you. Hope to have you on back again on the show. But we got some really, really special guests on tonight. We got the one and only Susan. Hey, Susan. Yay!
Making those iOS hearts.
Oh, it's been a long time coming, and it's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for hopping on. And it's gonna be a really good episode. So
yes, absolutely.
We also have the one, the only, the Dark Lord himself, Thor.
We are honored we could join you.
Yeah, the OG Sith caster from way back.
God.
Oh yeah, long time.
Yeah, and we should have Matt from Rogue 16 joining us a little bit later. So yeah, it's gonna be a great episode tonight, and we got really good topics to talk about. I'll reserve those topics a little bit later on the show. But first things first, we have to get to know Susan. And usually, Susan, I ask our guests, a couple questions. First question is top 3 Star Wars movies of all time.
Oh my God.
I just started to put you on the spot.
Wow. Okay, we're only talking movies, right?
Movies, yes.
Okay. Like I can leave out like shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Movies would have to be Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Rogue One.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's cold at my place now, but I have the strongest stars have Hearts of Kyber tattooed on me right here.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That's crazy.
So yeah, Rogue One would be 2, and then Return of the Jedi, just because that has a place in my heart. That's the first Star Wars movie I ever watched. I watched it before I saw New Hope or Empire, because when I was a kid, it was what I called the space teddy bear movie. Because I was like, little 80s baby, and I was like, what? There's space teddy bears? So I am an Ewok apologist, and I have to put Return of the Jedi on there because of that.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy because in terms of Return of the Jedi, I think a lot of people have that on their top 3 because of certain things like the Ewoks, and obviously it's Return of the Jedi. It's the end of the trilogy, of the original trilogy, should I say.
Also, if you're a guy of a certain age or a woman of a certain age, depending on your sexuality, lay in the gold bikini.
Oh yeah. yes. Definitely would agree on it without being weird. But
it's not weird. She even acknowledged that, like, one, it was an empowering outfit because she killed her captor in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it, Boba Fett, we kind of saw a little glimpse. Yeah.
The Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. And it's basically where Vader redeemed himself in that movie.
Yes, also that.
Very traumatic for me.
But to be fair to you, Thor, he redeemed himself in the sense that he decided to step up and be a good father. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely a great thing. And you know what's even crazier is that Rogue One is in your top 3.
I love Rogue One.
And and it's really creeping up on a lot of people's top 3. And
It's
with
a
all the
highly
guests,
rewatchable movie too.
yes, and on top of that, it just hits everything: nostalgia, the fight scenes, the everything. We get to
Look,
see Vader in action. We get to see the
yes.
space battles. Like,
and I don't want to like, yuck anyone's yum who love the sequels or love the prequels or anything like that, because like I am one of those people who think that all the movies have merit. Like even if the sequels weren't your thing, they are someone's, because they brought people into Star Wars that would not have necessarily watched them otherwise. They brought a new generation. Same with the prequels. They brought a new generation in, and now we're seeing a lot of those people grow up and be fans, and that's why we get things like Hayden Christensen and his second coming, like coming back and starting to do the con circuit again. So I totally think all the Star Wars movies have merit. Sorry, I know that's a controversial opinion in the Star Wars realm.
Well, actually, that is, and I'm glad that you touched upon that, because that's one of our topics, and that is called, and the reason why I called the today's episode Star Wars Generation, not to give a nod to Star Trek Generations, by the way.
Please don't.
No.
Also,
people are probably like confused, like, what the hell, Star
Wars and Star Trek, so I don't like discriminate there. I love Star Trek too. Like, you can't see, but all the way up there is a captain's chair. So like I have Star Wars and Star Trek. I know.
Yeah,
I'm all over the place fandom wise.
No, but
I also have to like go in 2 hours because Agatha drops, and I can't miss like Agatha all. So I'm all over the place fandom wise. But you guys know that if you know me.
Yes, actually, and that's why we love you, Susan, because you are a fan of many, many pop culture things, and honestly, that's why you're so loved in the community.
Thank you.
The one thing too is like, yeah, I definitely wanted to touch upon that later on.
Yeah,
in the show.
We'll talk about it later, but I do think all of them have merit. But one of the things that I think Rogue One hits a sweet spot in the Venn diagram of Star Wars fans, because of exactly what you said, PJ. Like, it has nostalgia elements to it, but it also introduces brand new characters that weren't in there, but it's also the same era as the original trilogy. So it also kind of hits the people who really love the cartoons, love like Rebels, and like, I mean, it's later than Clone Wars, obviously, but like Rebels specifically, because the ghost actually appears at the end of Rogue One. So like, there's all that stuff. It's a crossover movie that hits a lot of sweet spots for people who love the prequels and people who love everything about Star Wars. Rogue One kind of just is there and
puts everything together perfectly.
Puts everything together perfectly, and is a standalone movie that you can just rewatch in the universe, and it's great.
Yes. Yeah, and then we'll dive in into
we
a little
can
bit
get
more
to the generation stuff later.
Yeah,
I have lots of opinions on it.
Oh yeah,
it's like Thor's laughing because Thor knows. He's talked to me several times about Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. It's a great topic, and we'll dive into it a little bit later. But okay, so top 3 Star Wars characters of all time for you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I feel like, you ever watch High Fidelity, the movie? It's like top 5.
Yes, top 5. Yes, I love High Fidelity.
With John Cusack. Oh, love it.
So good. Actually, even the Hulu series with Zoe Kravitz is pretty good too.
Oh, I didn't know they have
It's only one season, I think. I only watched one season anyway, but
I love that movie. It just, ever since then, I always did the top 5
also
or top
underrated
3.
Jack Black role, by the way.
Very. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay, top 3 Star Wars characters. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I feel like I'm leaving so many out, but these are like just gut instincts. So now I'm going, number 3, Sabine Wren, because I loved everything about her journey from like where she started in Rebels to where she wound up at the end of the Ahsoka series. She's like a very, very highly developed character that went through a lot of different phases in her appearances in Star Wars, and I really appreciate her, and also the representation of her in like she's so cool. Like a Mandalorian who's also force sensitive, who's also like just so creative, and she brought a whole other element to me of like what a force user could be. Because we a lot of times see only a few types of force users in the
Yeah.
Star Wars universe, and anytime we get a chance to see a different one, I eat that up. Like, this is someone who isn't in the top 3, but like I wish she would be like 4 or 5, but like Asajj Ventress, for example,
Oh yeah.
different type of force user. Yeah, I know, Thor. Different type of force user. I eat her up because of that. I love seeing the like, if you're not a Jedi, if you don't fit into a mold of a force user, what does that look like? Because the definition of the force is this energy field that like is all of life, right? So that assumes that anyone who's force sensitive would tap into it in unique ways. So if you don't fit the mold of how you fit into it, where does that leave you if you can't just be a Jedi or just be a Sith? Like, what are you then? And Sabine gave us a really nice picture and character growth up to what that looks like for one type of character, and that's great. So Sabine would be number 3. Number 2 is Leia, because I love Leia. She was my first, like, the idea of like, she was my first like female role model in pop culture. That was like the princess who could save herself. Like, you don't have to be like, I also love Disney, but at the same time, I don't need to be the princess where someone swoops in and saves me. I can be the princess that someone has to save our skins, and like, she does it. So Leia for sure. But my number 1 is my forever husband, who is as and always will be the love of my life, and that is R2D2. Because without him, there would be no trilogy. Yeah, everybody's like, wait, who is she talking about? What? No, like, my guy, I love him. He is my babe. He's my like, he's my forever husband. That's actually like one of the things that got me my job at Sideshow, is they found a blog that I had written like a while ago that was like, why R2 is the perfect man, and like went through all the movies explaining
Oh my gosh,
why R2 was the perfect man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Wow, what a very
That's
unique and
hilarious.
awesome top 3 list there, Susan.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I would have never thought R2. I was like, when you were saying, "Oh, my husband," I was thinking, okay,
R2 forever.
Ewan McGregor. I was like thinking of so many things, but
oh yeah,
I thought you were gonna say Han Solo.
I was saying,
a lot of people,
I thought you were gonna say Han Solo.
a lot of people would assume Han Solo, assume Ewan McGregor, because who wouldn't want to marry him? Hera did. So yeah, but no, R2.
Oh,
R2's
what
my forever husband.
That's a great list.
And you think about it, he's been through the whole thing,
the whole journey. Yeah.
And name a place where he doesn't show up and save the day.
Yeah. It almost makes me think that, like, what is going through his, not want to say his mind, but his computing mind, as you could say, or computing brain, of him seeing his, Anakin go to the dark side, because he was there.
I mean, it must have broke his little circuity heart.
I know. That's crazy. And I remember when Anakin was like, "Hey, R2, stay by the ship," or something like that in Revenge of the Sith. I'm like, and he never saw Anakin.
Right. It makes me think of that dog in Japan, the one that waited for his owner.
Yeah. Right?
And now there's a statue for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that, where I'm just like, R2 waited for Anakin to come back until he couldn't anymore and just had to go on with his little droid life.
That's okay, so dark side or light side?
I am rebel scum all the way through.
Light side.
Sorry guys, light side. Well, I also don't think the force is that black and white, but yeah, sorry.
It's okay, we still
breaking my heart.
It's okay. Well, what do you expect, guys? It's Sithcast.
No, I know,
I'm
which is
kidding,
why I'm
I'm
like,
kidding,
why are you
I'm
having
kidding.
rebel scum on your Sithcast?
Oh no, yeah. We just we accept everyone from
Yeah.
all sides.
My very
Okay.
first tattoo was the rebel symbol that I got the second I turned 18.
You should see the people in the chat. Well, it's been nice, Susan.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm
No,
sorry.
they're
I'm
joking
not,
around. They're
but I
joking.
I do appreciate a lot of like dark side force users. Like you can't I mentioned Asajj Ventress, you can't have this like epic saga without both sides.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too is that like and then with some you have to think too with the dark side in terms of like their journey too, right? A lot of them they weren't really they didn't go straight to the dark side. They start off like in the light side, and then they just end up like things happen in their lives and they just turn to the dark side, and then a lot of them get redeemed, hopefully. That's why for me, I love Anakin just because of his journey of
Right.
how things in his life affected like how he thought, but then I'm glad later on in his life kind of like he redeemed
Anakin was
himself.
just hurt. Like
Yeah.
he was hurt and looking for a way, like he would like think about how first off grief changes people, and he
Yeah.
was hurt and grieving so many different times throughout his life that like there's not another path he could have walked.
Yeah.
Like people who talk about like like they'll do fan fiction.
Hi, this Matt.
Yeah, people
Hi.
who talk. Hi.
Sorry, my damn kids had to eat, so
Kids.
You have to feed them.
So
Come on.
annoying.
How unfortunate.
DoorDash it. Not just kidding.
Here. You can't just like put food in a bowl and walk away.
I wish.
Not a bowl, Jesus.
But sorry.
Yeah, but like with Anakin, people will like write fan fiction about like if he never turned and stuff, and I can't see another way for him to go, because like he needed to go that dark to deal with his own demons, like that was his way of healing. And yes, it was horrible for the galaxy as a whole, and he murdered a lot of people, and it was it was very dark. He went really dark in his journey.
Pretty bad.
A little too dark.
It was really bad, guys. It was really bad. He enslaved like the whole galaxy to deal with his issues. But at the same time, he was a very hurt soul. Like,
oh yeah,
you can't help but feel bad for him and what he went through.
Oh wow, that looks amazing.
That's
my gosh,
really cool.
That's pretty badass.
That's really cool.
And that's the thing too, is that like and I could relate to Anakin, because I was it's you come across certain things in your life, and that changes your trajectory, right? And you may veer off the path, but then eventually you just come right back to it. So, and I think that's why I loved Anakin's journey throughout the whole like trilogy, because life is not perfect. It's never perfect.
And I think that's why so many people relate to not just Anakin, but Star Wars as a whole, because it presents so many different ways you can deal with something when life doesn't turn out the way you plan. Like, if you think about it, every single character at the beginning, like if we talk about, like, I know the prequels technically happened first, and there's like the High Republic, and there's a lot of stuff that happened before this starting point. But if you think of A New Hope as the starting point, because that was the first form of media that came out that we were all exposed to, everyone's life drastically changed in A New Hope. Everyone, like every single character from the start of A New Hope is completely different, and from what they thought was going to happen, where they were headed at the beginning. Luke thought he was going going off to Tashi Station, or like to the academy, or like there's so many, like everyone thought they were doing such different things. Like Han just was like a normal smuggler, like like Vader was just running some errands essentially, like in the galaxy. Like Leia was just on a diplomatic mission that wasn't actually like everyone was doing something that turned out completely different. And really the rest of the Star Wars trilogy is like these, like the decisions that you make are what your path, it presents the path before you. So that's why I think this is such a beloved trilogy, or beloved saga, because it's way more than just a trilogy now. It's like a whole franchise saga, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because it shows you so much of like, these are so many different things that life throws stuff at you, and you can handle it in any possible way.
Yeah. And it's beautifully said. And yeah, that's why I love Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think a lot of us do.
Let's do. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the last question. And
oh God, there's more.
I know. Last one. Star Wars collectibles. In terms of Star Wars collectibles, what do you usually collect?
Okay, I collect by character, because that's the only way for me to do it. Because if I started doing like more than that, I would go nuts. So I have like, I'm allowed to collect because I'm out of space. I have no space. Like,
I think all of us in this panel, including
Matt,
I think like everyone I think here relates to that.
Oh yeah.
But like with all the different fandoms that I'm a fan of, like I don't have space. So I have to be very specific about what I collect. So I collect by character. So my characters are the three that I mentioned, R2, Leia, Sabine. I also collect Dr. Aphra because she's amazing, and I can't wait to see her show up somewhere.
Is there a lot of Dr. Aphra stuff to collect?
There is not, which is why I'm allowed to collect her.
Mm.
There's like the Black Series figure, there's a smaller Black Series figure, and there's the bust by Gentle Giant, and that's it.
And
so
there's
far.
comics, right? I mean,
there's comics.
collect
comics,
do you collect the comics at all, or?
I used to, but I ran out of space for comics, so now I have to do digital comics.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I know there isn't, and I'm sure there's going to be a ton of Dr. Aphra once she shows up on.
Yeah, she hasn't been in live action yet, right? I mean,
I'm sure she will be. I mean,
somebody made a fan art film about Boss, and Dr. Aphra is in that movie. It's on YouTube. No, it's on YouTube. Somebody made a fan art.
She'll make it into something.
She will.
They're in her era.
Right.
Like she's adjacent to so many of the stories they're doing right now.
Yeah,
they'll bring her in.
They'll definitely bring. Wow, awesome, and a lot of statues, figures,
it's anything. It's anything that is those characters like that I like. You know, like if it's not done well, then I won't get it. But like with Dr. Aphra, it's anything because there's not
limited.
nothing.
Yeah,
right.
So because the Gentle Giant statue, the bust like isn't great, but like the paint job is just not wonderful. But
surprising.
Matt is like, oh my god, he's ready. It's like you're like dangling the carrot in front of Matt. He's ready.
Sorry, I mean,
no,
I also have one of the like.
No, Matt agrees with you. Just basically.
No, okay, good. Because I was like, do you?
No, Matt agrees with you. He was just
no. I
just holding back right now what he was.
I was like, because I have several Star Wars busts, and none of them are that great.
I love talking about Gentle Giant because I just think they're so hit or miss. Like they either really do really well, or it's a freaking train wreck and a hot garbage. And I love talking about it.
Yes. I completely agree because I have the Leia where she's sitting in her cell with like one leg up. That's amazing.
Right.
It's such a great statue. It's so cool. And then I'm just like, okay, so you have this, which is brilliant. But then I also have like the Jyn Erso bust, which I'm just like, which direction is she looking?
Right. Yeah. Why is she cross-eyed? And
oh my goodness.
They have stuff like Dooku where he's got like sewage in his nails and he looks like he's like, I mean, he's just, have you seen that, Thor? Have you seen Dooku?
Yeah, let's just say it wasn't their best.
But I ain't seen that Dooku.
It's so
yeah.
But like also their animated stuff, you'd think you could get the animated stuff better because it's animated, so you're not dealing with like a likeness or like a person or it doesn't have to look human.
I know.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's so hit or miss. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so hit or
I love it.
But then, like you said, some of them are just like so pristine.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
this could be like oh my god, I only paid like $150 for this statue. This statue could
The
like
crazy part about it though is that all of it gets through approval.
right.
So like whether it's amazing
Yeah.
or it's
Yeah.
absolute dog shit, it's still someone still was there was like, yeah, let's sell that.
This
crazy.
version.
It blows
This
my
version.
mind.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Anyway,
Yeah, let's sell the cross-eyed version, and we'll sell the
Yeah,
exclusive
yeah.
version
Totally
later, where
agree.
it's the
Yeah,
when it's not
obviously
cross-eyed.
Jin doesn't know where she's looking. She's about to
Okay,
be blown
fine.
up by a Death Star.
totally
like-
fine.
Awesome. Well, awesome, Susan. And that'll be a great segue to talk about collectibles in just a second. But let me just address the chat. By the way, shout out to Matt from Rogue 16, Thor from DCX,
Hello.
and Susan. Where can people find you? I know.
Right here, right now.
Right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Okay.
Right there.
And please also check her out for El Hoffer Design.
At El Hoffer Design also. El
So,
Hoffer
yes.
Design.
Oh, let me zoom in on you for a little second. There you go.
Woohoo!
So
Which is
please check her
backwards,
out.
but yeah.
Does amazing work over there. Yeah, really cool. Thank you for answering all those questions. Sorry to put you on the
Yeah.
spot, but
No, it's
really
good
great
because
answers.
I'm glad that you didn't tell me you were asking those beforehand because I would have like overthought it. And instead you got some like answers,
Like,
you know?
yeah, from
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so let's address the chat real quick, and then we'll dive into some collectibles and talk about our main topic for tonight. Yeah, please check out everyone and their social media platforms: Rogue 16, Thor from DCX, and Susan, and El Hoffer Design. So awesome! All right, so we got Snoke Dogg in the house.
Amazing. What a
I love that. I just
That's
love
such
that
a great name.
Yeah,
The picture's even better.
pictures. of that.
yeah. I wish I could zoom in on that picture, but it's,
That's so
we got
great.
Trooping with Robin. We got Sean Soul. There's my partner in crime hiding in the chat. We got
He's
Chris
still
Elliott.
moving, PJ?
Still
Is it-
moving.
I don't believe it.
It's either that or he's
I'm
moving
gone.
out of the country.
Dude, moving takes forever these
Yeah,
days.
that's
It
it,
takes
bro.
so long.
Yeah. And who else is here? Benjamin Bowman. What's up, Ben? We got Archangel in the house. We got Badman. Moth McClunky Milfs a move. Oh my god, that is a tongue twister.
I could not
Huh.
even begin to say that.
We got Flex in the house. SWA77. Darth Rashid is in the house as well. Who else is
It's Darth
here?
Rashid, okay.
Who else is here? DSX, that's Do Back Deliveries. Susan, good to see you. You were super cool at Celebration 2019. Former
Oh, cool.
resident.
It's like I'm wearing my celebration. I think this is 2019.
Which
Oh,
one
no,
was
this is
2019? It was, I forget. Was it in
Chicago.
Florida? Chicago, yeah.
Chicago. I
Yes.
saw you there.
Yeah, I think
That was the last time I saw you in person.
Was it? Oh
Yeah,
my
I
gosh.
ran into you at a pizza place of all places. I didn't even see you at the con. I saw you at a
Love
pizza
it.
place.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I love
That's
Chicago. Chicago is it's very windy. It really
my
is
God.
the windy city.
That was like the first time I ever went to Chicago, and I was not prepared with how
Crazy.
cold it gets. It gets so cold.
It's so cold. Comic Galaxy in the house. We got Logan Kalangi and BMX Jai. He's done moving, but has to finish the pleasure. Okay, we'll not finish the rest of that. So BMX Jedi. Okay. What I was gonna say. Yes. Speaking of celebration, you are going to celebration, right, Susan?
In
I don't think
Japan.
the rest of us.
I haven't missed a celebration since 2015.
2015. What?
The
what was this
Anaheim one.
Oh,
The Anaheim one in I think it was 2015. That's when I met Carrie Fisher.
yeah.
So it
Oh,
had
I
to have
wish
been it had to have been before, obviously before 2016.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Which is your favorite celebration?
so far,
Yeah.
oh man, I loved them all for totally different reasons.
Mhm.
Because like obviously 2015 stands out because I met Carrie Fisher. And by the way, Carrie Fisher kissed me on the mouth. I love telling that story.
Of course she did.
Yeah, she kissed me on the mouth because
Carrie
I
Fisher.
have
How?
never
Like just randomly
never-
saying, "Hey,
No. This is what
Hi.
happened. I love telling the story, and I've told Thor's heard this story like 16,000 times.
That's okay.
So, I rarely get starstruck, but this is Carrie Fisher, my childhood hero, who I have grown up loving my whole life. I had to deliver a gift to her from where I was working at the time. And I walked into the room where she was like drinking a giant Diet Coke and Gary Fisher's running all around this like holding area. And my mind went completely blank and I didn't know what to say. So the words that came out of my mouth was I just said, "Hi, Carrie, I love you." Like, that's what I said. And she said, "Oh, honey, I love you too," and grabbed my face with both her hands and kissed me.
Oh my
And
gosh.
P.S., she was about 5'1" or 2", and I'm 5'9", so there's like a significant height
just-
difference.
You had
So
to bring it in a little bit. You know
like
what I mean?
she had to like pull me down to her.
Ooh.
It
Oh
was
my-
the best day of my life.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, if Carrie Fisher also kissed me in the mouth, that would be like,
She probably
know,
would,
the-
PJ.
yeah, I mean,
Probably would.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
I went back to work because I had to go back to work after that
Carrie
happened.
Fisher was down.
And my
So
boss
I've
was
heard.
like,
She's down to
yeah, I know.
clown.
Yeah, we've all heard. She talked about it publicly all the
I
time.
know. Good for her.
And my boss was like, "Are you okay? Like, what happened at that giveaway?
Oh my
like, are you
God,
okay?"
man.
And I was like, I don't know. Do I tell my boss? Like, am I supposed to tell my boss this? I did. Yeah. I was
You had to tell. You had to
I
tell
had to tell my
HR.
boss. I was like, because I had this look on my face, like I just went, the client kissed me.
They're like, yeah, she does that.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
fine.
And they're
That's fine.
like, yeah, and we're like, what happened? So I told that story, and they were like, oh, well, it kind of sounds like you couldn't. I was like, yeah, no, there was no way I could have avoided that.
Well, I mean,
She
yeah,
can do whatever she wants, right?
it's
Carrie Fisher.
And then I have a picture that was taken like 10 seconds after it happened, and I'm bright red in the picture.
Oh my
It's great.
God.
It's so great.
That's
Unbelievable.
awesome. That's an awesome story.
Good story.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome.
So yeah, that's probably my favorite celebration. Let's just go with that's my favorite celebration.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say one of my favorite ones is Florida, Orlando. 'cause that
Florida was
my,
good too.
it
Florida
was my
was
first. Yeah, my first celebration. Yeah.
Japan's gonna be cool for people, though. I mean, that's
Yeah,
No,
really
you have-
special.
Are you
I
going to be out there
cannot
for a
wait
couple
for-
weeks? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm going
You have
out
to.
for 3. I'm going out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Wow.
Nice.
I've never been to Japan. I want to do Disney also.
Oh,
Like-
and I heard it's cheaper there.
I heard it's cheaper there too. I want to do Pokemon stuff because
Oh my gosh.
I'm a big nerd. There's lots of
Love
nerdy
it,
stuff to
love it.
do.
Love it. Love it.
I want to eat all the food.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh.
I want to stay in the Godzilla hotel.
Not
It's a
the
Godzilla
Godzilla
hotel?
hotel. Wow.
Yeah, it's like and
course
it's also,
there
by the
is.
way, not that expensive because I looked into it and it's like
Mhm.
125 to 200 a night, depending on the type of room you get.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's if you stay one night, that's like not that big a deal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The celebration badges are really
Gina!
cool.
There's Gina.
Gina,
Hi, Gina.
Gina just
PJ
went to Galaxy's Edge and I loved all the pictures.
PJ, did you
Yeah,
see
that
the
was cool.
celebration badges that they came out with?
Yeah, it was.
They're really
it
cool.
was the Vader
They
one
look
is super
really
cool.
Good. I liked the
Really cool.
Yoda one too, and I was surprised I liked.
I like
the
that they're
Yoda
doing
one.
that. That they're really going all out for it. That's really
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I really. Oh, I want to go, but. Oh man. Well, hopefully next one is on stateside. I'm
They've done
hoping-
2
I would.
out.
think so.
Yeah,
I
because
would
the
think
last one was London.
London,
I went
and
to
you
the- I
went
went
to
to the-
London too.
I went
Yeah,
to London.
yeah, I saw the pictures. So
Yeah,
awesome.
it'll be in the States, I think.
It'll be in
Yeah.
the States.
That'd be nice, and hopefully we can all get together and hang out.
I
Looking
wouldn't be
forward to
surprised
it.
if it's in Orlando again.
I actually think it's going to be in Orlando too.
I think so.
I think so.
Orlando, because with the rotation,
Mhm.
like I think it's going to be Orlando next.
It makes
Yeah,
sense.
and if it's in
should be fun.
Orlando, it should be fun. I encourage everyone. Let's just go hang out. Like here,
Go hang
you
out.
know.
And then maybe
And-
even do a day at Disney.
And
Yeah.
and if you stay even longer, like I think Universal, that new Universal park is going to be there too.
Oh,
I think they're doing a
yeah.
whole nother Universal park that's
Oh, that's right.
coming next year.
What are they gonna add?
I don't. It's a whole nother park. It's
Yeah,
a
they're
whole nother
adding like
thing
a
they're doing.
third, like another, like on the opposite side of Islands of Adventure.
I think so, and it's got like
Okay.
you go into like portals to go to
Mhm.
different things. I mean, not real
Yeah,
portals.
it's like portals.
Portals.
Well, yeah.
Portals. They figured out portal technology, and so like you
Yeah.
know, you go into these portals, you go into these worlds. Apparently, it's a whole new thing. Not it's
Yeah.
obviously not Star Wars related, but that's cool. There's so
That's
much
Yeah.
to do in
cool.
Orlando. It's crazy.
I wonder if there's
right?
going to be a
So,
portal for Fast and the Furious, because I actually went to the Fast and the Furious ride in Universal.
It just takes you to your family, PJ.
Yeah,
That's
they're
where
all
it
they're all family.
just takes
Yeah.
you to your own family.
No, it was like literally a party bus. Like literally when it was coming up, I'm like, it's a party bus, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is the ride. It's pretty
That's
cool. I won't
crazy.
spoil it for anyone. Get a chance. The lines are not long, surprisingly. It's a fun,
Not
quick
surprised.
ride. It's you're gonna be like at the end, you're like,
Oh, it's done.
That's Fast and the Furious.
You're like, okay, I
Over the
did
top.
that.
Yeah, over the top. You know, just makes no
That's funny.
sense. You know, okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. Let's talk collectibles. And yeah, I think Matt and I have been kind of talking about this you know, backstage. Well, not backstage, but you know,
Yeah, yeah.
outside of the
Mhm.
the stream. Because Blitzway,
Mm.
oh my gosh. I'm an Anakin fan, so
incredible.
you know I had to get this.
And they
Oh
just
my.
came out with some more details about it too. I think PJ, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna share that. And Susan, I know you've been collecting for quite some time. You kind of seen the progression of statues throughout the years. What's your thoughts on something like this? Like,
Well, Blitzway is like they're so good right now. Like Blitzway's
Mhm.
been putting out some quality stuff for a while, so it doesn't surprise me. Blitzway was one of those ones that like I'm glad they have the Star Wars license now because they can put out some really great stuff, and I think he looks really awesome. Like
Blitzway partners with Prime One a lot, correct?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
yeah, and the thing too is that like, and Thor and I like talked about this years ago. We're always like, oh, I wish you know, Prime One or one of the other companies can do something so like hyper realistic.
Mm.
And it's taken us how many years, Thor? 8 years
Yeah, about
since
8
we said
years.
those comments like in a stream many years ago. And
Mhm.
here we are, like a company like Blitzway really taking chances. And I'm so happy they got the license, even though it's kind of restricted. It's only in Japan.
Mhm.
But like moving eyes, rooted hair, like genuine leather. Not only that, you could actually pose this thing. I don't know how I guess you could. It's. I don't know. It said something. Let me
I think
share
they
that.
got. I think they got joints. In
Yeah, they got like, and they said that you got to be careful when you're moving the joints around. But like that's like
a figure.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a figure. But I don't know. Like, how do you define this? Because it's still technically like a statue.
You got to think this will be at Star Wars Celebration since it's Japan only.
Oh
you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's
this is
totally
definitely
gonna be
It's totally gonna be there. But yeah, listen, if this is like a start of a new line for, it's oh my gosh, like I'm done with Hot Toys, and the only reason why I loved collecting Hot Toys back in the day is because you know the hyper realistic portraits that they put out. Now they're putting it in statues, and they're amazing. It's just kind of like I love statues. You know, if I were to collect one thing only, and statues would be the only thing. But yeah, this is definitely coming home to me. I pre-ordered it through Spec. But yeah, Susan, what do you think? Like, is there any characters that you want Blitzway to do in the future since they got this license and something?
If they're doing an Anakin, to me, it only makes sense for them to have an Obi-Wan and a Padme. Like you have to have the three from the prequel trilogy because like that's to me Star Wars works in threes. Like you have to have the three like core if you're going to do it. So like if you have Anakin, you need the other two to go with that. Obviously, I want my classics from the original trilogy.
Lit.
Like yeah, but like if Blitzway is doing this, then like give me like a list. I'll just send them like a laundry list. Like Han, would love to see a Han. especially if you could like have him do more, like if it's one of these like where it's sort of a statue but sort of a figure, you could have him, because so many statues of Han are just that one pose. Like
Yeah.
that's my like big pet peeve with like Han statues is like they go to that one pose all the time, and let's have some swap out so you can have that one pose if that's like your classic go-to Han look, but also have it swap out. So like if you don't want that Han look, you could have a different Han look. Like I would love a Han for sure.
Yeah.
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 Like young Harrison Ford and this hyper realistic, like
Oh my gosh. Luke, Leia. Oh my gosh.
Leia. Yeah.
The question I have with this Black Label though is that they did Michael Jackson, right? And now they're doing Anakin. So, and I've talked to you about this, PJ, is the question is, are they going to do Indiana Jones next? Or, you know what I mean? Are they still going to do Star Wars? Or is this just they're doing Star Wars and then they're going to go do something? You know what I mean?
I don't,
I don't want to like ruin this, like us talking about this. I just don't know if they're going to like, are they going to continue?
See what you're saying.
Or is it just something special they're doing?
I think with the the Black Label, I think because, you know, with the standard version, right, I'm assuming that, they're going to do more Star Wars characters, but with the Black Label, I think they're just maybe picking and choosing which ones. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be really cool though, to think about Black Label as something that's more pop culture all encompassing, like having the next one be from a different fandom, like even throw in some horror icons there, like if you want, like that would be really smart of them as well. So
it would. The only problem, Susan, is that if they came out with a Carrie Fisher and didn't do a Black Label version, it would be such a bummer. Like that's
true.
The only thing. I hope they continue. I hope they continue the Black Label version for some of these characters, but I just don't know what they're, because they did Michael Jackson before this one. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the Black Label is.
Yeah, what's the goal here? Yeah.
Man, it would be so cool though. It'd be so cool if they kept it going, because you're right. Padme would be amazing. Here's another thought, and I think we talked about this on our something else that we did where and Susan, you probably know a little bit more about this. When a company comes out and does Star Wars stuff, they usually come out with stuff in the New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, original trilogy style. You know, that's what they come out with. They don't usually come out with Revenge of the Sith characters to start.
That's exactly. Yeah.
So the question I have is that just because is it some sort of, I think, is it the anniversary? I believe.
I think it's the anniversary.
It is an anniversary, right?
I think so. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking it is. Although I just wonder is there a limit to the license? I don't know if that's how licensing would work necessarily.
Okay, first off, I never worked in licensing, so I have a very, very basic knowledge as to how it works, only from like hearsay. Like, so I probably know slightly more, but like not that much more than anybody in the collector realm. But I know that licensing is regional, so that does explain why it would only come out in Japan and not the United States, because there would be exclusive rights in the United States for other companies or whatever. Like, so that explains that. But in terms of maybe there's a gap in the licensing for Revenge of the Sith, and that's why it's Revenge of the Sith. I don't know the specifics of Star Wars licensing.
I just say that because I can see Disney separating those things, being like,
I can totally see Disney doing that too, because they are very specific. I know that there was a difference between licensing in Marvel like that. Like in terms of like they had to separately license specific characters for specific movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, especially the original trilogy stuff versus everything else. It seems like I don't know. I was talking to some people with the show that we were doing, and I was just kind of I don't know why if you didn't have to, if you could make any character, I don't know why you'd start with these characters. I don't mind them. I like them. I'm happy they're doing Anakin because I think it's a great choice. But at the same time, you know, it kind of
it is surprising.
It's a little surprising.
I also think it could be a trending thing too, because because like Hayden Christensen is so trending on social
back.
media now. He's back
He's
and
back.
he's doing things, and he's like
It's true.
now like up for parts in other major franchises, and he's very like popular right now. So Hayden Christensen, I like, it might just be a branding thing where they're like, we want when people search this
Yeah.
particular
Right.
popular actor for our product to show up.
Yeah.
So it could
Yeah.
be as simple as that too.
And I have to say, well, if you notice too, like there's a lot of prequel stuff coming up, like in terms of like
sure,
Regal
yeah.
Robot, Blitzway, and many even like Hot Toys too. I just think that even Iron Studios, they're putting up prequel stuff. I just think that like they're taking advantage of the kids that have grown up
I was gonna
and
say
have money now, and that want to
Mhm.
pick up some of the stuff that they grew up with. And I
I
think
know this is a totally different realm, but like I work for a geeky clothing company and we're doing a lot of prequel stuff right now too,
Yeah.
because of the exact same reason that you just mentioned, PJ, where like the people, the women who grew up loving Padme now have the money to buy Padme inspired wardrobe clothes to wear
Right.
every day.
That
So now
is
we have Padme stuff.
awesome.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, my next
Oh
Thor's
my
already
God.
laughing.
No, I'm laughing
no.
at BMX Jedi's comment.
What did
Well,
he write? I'm not looking at the chat. I never look at the
Oh
chat.
no, don't look at the chat. It's okay.
Yeah.
How about Jar
Oh
Jar?
no, should I not? I won't.
No,
look.
don't,
Okay.
don't. Jar Jar Binks.
What about him?
He's becoming popular again.
I
I
mean,
just
Do
literally,
you want to pay this money for
Okay,
some Jar Jar?
okay. Question though: is Jar Jar becoming popular, or is Ahmed Best becoming popular? Because those are two different things.
they are two different
And
things.
Ahmed is like Ahmed is super popular right now because of his like
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, triumph over a lot of adversity, and like breakthrough in mocap stuff, like all this stuff that is now coming out about Ahmed's career journey. Is Ahmed popular, or is it Jar Jar? Like,
both.
I would love an answer to that question because I'm on the side of I think it's Ahmed that's popular, but maybe I'm wrong.
I say both, because there is a lot of Jar Jar merchandise now, and
But
PJ, they're not going to make a.
But is it a joke?
No, I think people love Jar Jar now.
But PJ, they're not going to make a Jar Jar black label.
Black,
they made
a Jar Jar hot toy.
And for me, look, PJ, they're also not going to make a Wicket black label version. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen. So, like, yes, I agree.
Susan,
they're
Matt
important
likes
characters.
Return of the Jedi too. He loves the Ewok.
Oh, I love the Ewoks too. Okay.
But they're not going to do that, right? So, like, it's just not going to happen. That's fine. I was kind of surprised that they didn't start with, which I'm happy they didn't. Very happy. But Darth Maul, even though Darth Maul is a prequel character, but it's still surprising that they didn't start with him or Darth Vader or Luke or Han or something like that. I'm happy though. I'm happy they're doing Anakin. I think it's great.
Hold up, man. Can you go back to like the pictures of Obi-Wan for a second? Like go like to his face.
Well, just really quick. This is near Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I ran into Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, but Darth Jar Jar's been a thing for so long. Darth Jar Jar's in the Lego Vader, the Lego thing now, right?
Yeah, he is.
I know they're not canon. I know the Lego stuff isn't canon, but like Darth Jar Jar's in that, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I heard yes.
Go to the face, like just.
Okay, I'll try to get a close up.
Why
there you go.
Okay, here you go.
Why are you mad?
I'm not mad.
No. Why is Obi-Wan mad? Doesn't he look mad?
To me, the Anakin is spot on.
Yeah.
This looked like that dude that played Zemo. To me.
Oh.
It looked like Daniel Bruhl, in my opinion.
I could say that.
I'm watching the franchise right now on HBO, and
that's who this looks like to me.
It does.
I don't see you, and I see Daniel Bruhl.
I mean, look, I will say this. I think they did a much better job than the Hot Toys Obi-Wan. I think the Hot Toys Obi-Wan face is just he's like eating his upper lip, and so like I think
he's eating his upper lip.
I think they did a better job than that. But I will say that the black label, to me, the black label looks
Oh my god.
10 times better than the other two versions. It
Oh
just looks
my god.
so good.
It looks
Like,
so.
Yeah,
I'm
Black
selling
Label
my
looks
dark side
great.
Anakin because I'm like, I'm done. Like
I mean, it's
this is
double
it.
the price. It's like
I
triple the price,
know.
but still.
I know,
it's-
but still, oh, it's so
it's so
good.
good.
It's so Matt, you got one.
Yeah, I ordered
Okay,
it
good.
now.
All right.
But I only ordered
We're
that
still
one.
friends.
So I didn't.
We're still friends.
I think Jason ordered both Obi-Wan and Anakin, the normal versions, because he wanted two of them, and he didn't want to go with Black Label because of that. I
Mhm,
can understand that. I mean, you're paying like almost the same price, maybe a little less.
mhm.
So you kind of have to make that choice. Not to mention, do you think people? I mean, I'm sure people will do this, but I couldn't do. I had a hard time with this. I'd have a hard time displaying beautiful Anakin Black Label version with normal Obi-Wan sculpted hair version. They're
That's-
not the same.
I
mean,
get
am I
that.
wrong?
Yeah.
No, I
it's
get
gonna be
that.
hard.
I have a really hard time with my Hot Toys with like the vision that I have doesn't go with my Scarlet Witch, and like
Right.
the vision just doesn't look right. Like because they kept making them off
Yeah, yeah.
off product line or whatever. I don't know what it was, but there'd be like an upgrade, and Scarlet Witch would get the upgrade, but then Vision wouldn't get the up anyway. I get it.
They keep, but
I get
that's
it.
what I'm saying, and that's why I feel like they did make the sculpted hair version. Those look great together. Those look like
Mhm.
normal, like great statues. I just think that the Black Label is just so much better, in my opinion. I don't know. I just
Yeah. Yeah. No,
it's like a tiny human being.
Yeah, and the thing, and
And those are quarter
Mo-
scale?
it's
Yeah.
a quarter scale.
Quarter scale, yeah.
Moving eyes, which makes it
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Like with a magnet, which is, trust me, with the Hot Toys and the purse system. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know about
yeah,
you
Oh my
guys, but
God.
Popping
it's
the
a
head out and
pain
moving
in-
moving your finger.
Yeah,
around.
and the thing
Dude.
too is, it's like my all my Hot Toys figures that had purse system, they all look cross-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Padme looks sick right now because I haven't fussed with her eyes in a while, and they've drifted.
Mm.
Oh, they drift? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
They've drifted.
oh
Yeah,
my
that's not
gosh.
good.
Yeah, so
the
that's why
worst. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Susan.
No, I was gonna say the worst are some of the Batman ones. They drift real bad.
Well, this one's magnetic, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
which that's cool. I see the one thing I kind of am interested in this line to see how successful it is what you said, Susan, where it's kind of a mixture between a figure and a statue. Do people like that? Will they like that? Is that some, because Thor, this statue people like statues.
Mhm.
Figure people like figures, right?
Yeah.
Usually that's not a mixture. So like
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what people think about that, because I'm kind of sitting here going, it looks amazing and it looks like an incredible piece, but I almost prefer to have a statue that's made to look amazing, and then switch out so you can switch things out, make it something else, but still an amazing pose. Having to pose something yourself, I don't usually think that works out very well, not for me at least. And so, it'll be interesting to see. I know it's limited. It's not like it can do, you can't like turn it, or it's limited what it can do, but I don't know. Thor, do you think that'll?
I don't know. I think the likeness for some people will be the caveat.
Sure.
But we won't know until people get it in hand,
Yeah.
But I've already heard the rumble, oh, it's a figure and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess it sold out, didn't it? Or did it? I mean, I don't know.
Don't know.
But we'll see. That's all I can
the thing
say.
too is like how many people in Japan, because it's only limited to it's a
Yeah.
Japanese license.
Mhm.
So obviously, I think Spec is the only company here that's selling it. I haven't seen anybody else selling it besides Spec, but
Not that I know.
yeah, I think
Well, because it's such a hard thing, because like the other companies that usually sell the Asia only exclusives, they're like, do I carry this? Because this is not really a figure. Because most of those
Yes.
other companies
Yeah.
are like Kit, who like carries the 6 scale figures. Like,
yeah, and like it's and it's crazy because it'll be interesting. Interesting.
Well, and Comic Galaxy is asking, they're the same besides the doll hair and the eyes, right?
in the
And
quarter scale.
that is true. They're the same. The thing that blows my mind is every time I look at them, it does not feel the same. Like it doesn't feel like you're looking at the same sculpt, but you are. It's
Yeah.
the same sculpt. It's exactly the same, other than the hair and but I do think PJ isn't one of the differences is that the Black Label is hand painted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they're actually like going in and hand painting and like meticulously,
Yeah.
however they do
A
it.
little bit more detailed.
Right. So
Yeah.
you are getting a little bit better of a detailed statue figure thingy. So that's good. I just think when you look at, they just don't look the same to me. That's all.
No, I agree. They don't look the same. And that's why I went with the Black Label.
Black Label,
I'm Anakin fan. I'm still waiting on Kenobi. I'm not sure because, like you said, Matt, it just wouldn't display right.
It's just different.
Plus, I'm an Anakin guy.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean,
they would look great.
Obi killed my guy. No, didn't kill my guy.
Yeah,
but,
they would look great together. I just,
Yeah.
like I was saying, they just kind of feel different to me. That's all.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So this got released. Is it last week? It got released.
Yeah,
October 16th. And man, it sold out pretty quick. I was very fortunate enough to get mine this past weekend.
I have one too. Yeah.
You got one?
Yeah, I'm gonna unbox it this week. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
Did you go online, or you went to
online?
Online.
Online. Yeah.
Anyone else get this? Like Susan or Thor? Yeah, it's pretty cool. From what I heard, A, it's limited to 3,000. B, it's sold out, and I heard everyone's been raving about it.
Everyone loves it.
Everyone loves it. So,
and there's people taking them apart because the whole thing comes apart and there's the wires. I've even seen people in like the hyperdrive. I think it was, I can't remember who's doing it, but someone was doing it to where they actually took all the wires off, the plastic wires off, and they put their own like real wires on it, and it looks so good. It looks so good.
Wow.
I will never do that because I don't want to, but like I don't want to take the time to do it. But I've seen people, and it's really, really cool, man. It's a little bit undersized, I think, PJ. I think it's like 90% or something. But it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It was how much was it? Like 100, 120? I forgot.
Do the eyes light up too and everything?
Yeah, the eyes light up. Yeah, and it has a voice, like a voice thing, right? Voice
yeah.
So,
which I don't really care about. I don't even really care about the eyes lighting up so much as the display that I really bought it for was you taking the whatever, the shell off and seeing the inside of C-3PO, like the wires and stuff running, because the eyes are still there, the like gold eyes are still there, but all the wire, you can see all the wires. It's so cool,
like from the prequels, like in episode 1.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, cool. This one got released last week as well. This is like the EFX, the lightsaber hilt. And I guess it's like 250 edition size, right?
This is the Mandalorian.
It's the Mandalorian version, but it comes with a signed plaque. Well, Mark Hamill signed plaque. Honestly, I wasn't thrilled. Well, it was expensive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's not the Return of Jedi like saber. I don't know what's the major differences between the Mandalorian hilt compared to the Return of the Jedi hilt. I mean, I'm not like a hilt fanatic or expert,
I don't know.
so I didn't get it. Yeah, but it was just a lot. It was like 1,200 or something.
Yeah,
BJ, I'm gonna tell you a story that's gonna make you very sad. The other day, I interviewed a guy who used to design toys for EFX, right? Pre-Disney. He was put in charge of designing a Darth Talon saber for EFX. Disney took over and they never put it out because it wasn't canon. It never got made. And it was like the organic hilt and everything. You know how her hilt looks, and it never got made.
I need to know. Did he do Mara Jade too?
No, he just said Darth Talon. Yeah.
Mara Jade's my like one that I want her to be canon so bad. Like I get there's I know there's pieces of her in other characters that they parceled her out over other characters. No, I want Mara Jade.
Yeah, they suggest that remember in at the end of the Force Awakens where Luke was looking at this grave, they're saying that was her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
Where
She's in
is
it.
she?
So she's in it. She's
Not
in
her
it.
grave.
Yeah, I know.
Where is my
that
redheaded
ain't helping you.
goddess?
That ain't helping you too much.
Because again, unique force user. She knows how to use both sides of the force, flips back and forth between whichever one she needs.
So there's a custom Mara Jade statue, and somebody took it and painted it and gave her like Sith eyes. It looks pretty cool.
I will.
I just
Yeah.
would love the idea of having her be canon. The idea of like a character that switches, preferably Mara Jade, a woman who marries Luke Skywalker, who is a redhead, who is a force user with a purple lightsaber, who goes back and forth and uses both sides of the force. I just really want that. Not
honestly,
specific at all, Disney.
Yeah, seriously. I thought when Disney got the license or got the IP, I was hoping to see Mara Jade and the rest of the EU gang.
Yeah,
they need to cover that area, like when he had his school and all that stuff, and they started in Mando, and then
though that's like the Catholic Church saying that Jesus married somebody, and they're not going to do that shit. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. So I mean, it's just Luke, right? They're super careful with all that shit. I mean, I don't know. Aren't they bringing some of the extended stuff in?
They are. Like, I mean, Thrawn's in here now.
Right.
Like, we got Thrawn. So that's cool story.
So
Where's Mara Jade?
Yeah, I think eventually they have to, because it would be such a waste not to. Because I mean, I've been seeing a lot of merchandise with like some of the Knights of the Old Republic stuff.
Yeah.
So it just kind of hints to me that they are looking, or maybe they're testing the waters to see how popular the character is before they really start diving into it. I'm not sure, but the fact is that I mean, you could buy a licensed Revan costume now from Jazzwares, which is pretty cool. And
that's awesome.
It's not that expensive too. It's like $80.
But I want Mara Jade.
Well, and
I know, me too.
And Hot Toys made a Revan, didn't they? Didn't Hot Toys make a Revan?
Hot Toys made a Revan.
Hot Toys made a Revan,
Yeah, so
XM, that's right there.
Yeah. All right.
Come on, guys.
I know. So I went to New York Comic Con and got this.
Did you like this thing in person?
Oh,
dude?
I love
this thing
it.
was crazy.
And the fact that it lit up like this, holy moly. And Franco did the base. Franco Carlissimo, one of our good friends. Shout out to him. He did the base only. But the Kucharik brothers did the.
Of course they did.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah,
that's
I was talking to them over the weekend. So
dude, PJ, so it was interesting because I saw this at San Diego Comic Con, and I had seen pictures of the base. And I didn't really like the base that much, but then when I saw it in person, I was like,
the base in person is
wow.
like freaking sick.
It's crazy.
It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like another scene in that base. Like
it's really cool.
All four scenes, iconic scenes.
Because I think in pictures you lose the depth of the base, like the inside of it, like the 3D of it. Once you get in person and see it, it's impressive, dude. This whole thing is really, really impressive. It's huge. It's massive. But
yeah, and I'm so happy that the Kucharik brothers are exclusively working with PCS, I believe. Yeah. And just talking to them, and all I can say is, get your wallets ready.
But PJ, they only do 1/3, right? They only do 1/3.
Yeah, they only have the license for 1/3.
That's a big statue, dude.
I know. But I don't know what I'm. Hey, Matt, you know me, man. Like
I know, but
I just buy and ask questions later. And the question is, and Susan, you probably relate to this too. Is that where am I going to put this thing? And Thor can
I figure it out when it.
You just figure it out
when it shows up. I'm like, okay, well now I got to figure this one out.
I got to construct vaulted ceilings now in my house. Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, especially when the light from the saber hilt lights his face up. Cool. It looks so menacing. It is sick. And it's beautiful. I definitely coming home to Papa. That's all I gotta say.
Thor, would you do any 1/3 stuff at all?
I've thought about it. I mean, I think one is too big, and especially the problem with this one. Even mall statues in general,
Yeah.
is the saber just takes up so much room.
Yeah, it's
You
more
know,
than
even
just
even the
that.
cool because the first one I had was the newest sideshow one, and that one was cool because the way it lit up was like they came from like a lightsaber is really supposed to light up. They came from the hilt and went out like that. You know what I mean? But it's just it just took up so much room. You know what I mean? And this you could just tell is like you talking.
Oh yeah.
23, 24 inches.
Yep.
The thing also, if I were to do 1/3, I would have to know that they were gonna make at least 2 more. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't just
Yeah,
have
I
him.
get
You want the
Oh.
display.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. I
thinking
can't just
full
have him.
display. Yeah.
Well, no, they're making Palpatine on the throne.
I heard they're making Sidious, yeah. So
Oh my! Imagine
I don't know.
1/3 Palpatine on the
A
throne.
1/3 throne?
That's
But
crazy.
Yes.
Palpatine's, if you think of like, and then they got to do Vader.
Oh, they're
Right?
definitely have
They're making
to.
some
Because
kind of
if you
bust.
have Maul and Palpatine, you need Vader. He's
Yeah,
the
see,
third.
Susan, what am I doing?
Don't
What am I
do it.
doing?
I
Why
got a
do
feeling
Matt,
when that stuff
why?
comes
Why
out.
do I love these things?
Why do all of us love these things?
Oh, yeah. I mean, literally, I've been wearing the same shirt since 2012. I need to buy new shirts, but
Yeah.
no, I buy more
Not
statues.
the same shirt, Jesus.
I mean, I get it.
Susan's
Not the same shirt.
okay, let's not meet in person because you
1/3
seem
though,
like
dude.
you're dirty and wear the same shirt all the
I
time.
get it.
No, but I'm just.
Well, Gina said the first time she met you was 2019, PJ.
I know it was so nice to meet you.
I just missed it. Like I came back.
I've
and said, you
never
just,
met Gina in real life.
Oh,
me
she
neither.
is
I came back
such
and
a
said you just missed it. I was like,
sweetheart.
oh my God.
Oh,
First of all, very underrated YouTuber. Like if you see
Absolutely.
her videos,
no,
very
Gina's
quality.
videos are amazing.
Pressing.
If you don't subscribe to her channel, watch her videos. They
Pressing.
are
I wish you would. Yeah.
amazing.
Can it be on? It's like when she came to New York Comic Con and started filming some of the booths there. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like a professional. And here I am with like my little rinky dinky camera phone. I'm like, okay, let me just put this back in my pocket and leave. No, she's amazing. Got to meet her in person. She is the sweetest thing you'll ever talk to. So
I love her.
yes. Okay, so moving on. More Hot Toys. Yay, nay. Savage. Pretty cool. I love it. Too bad I'm not collecting Hot Toys anymore, thanks to Blitzway. But yeah, and plus, you know what it
It's
is,
really
guys. Cool. It's really cool, and I just can't. Before they weren't pumping as many figures, so it was easier to collect. Now it's just,
Dude, it's a fire hose.
It's just like I can't. I
Fire
can't
hose
keep
to the
up.
face. You just can't do it. Like I know some people. We have a guy, PJ. You probably know Nathan Alker. He's in our group.
Oh yeah,
He's
Nathan.
in a couple
Yeah.
other groups. He collects like hot toys. He loves hot toys, and it's great. But it's so much fun talking to him now because it's like, bro, where are you gonna put all this shit? Like they're coming out with so much good stuff. Like Hot Toys never. I feel like I don't feel like Hot Toys misses almost ever. Like it's very, very few and far between where you go, that's not cool or that doesn't look good. That's a huge problem for addicts that are, that want this shit. Like if it looks good, they're gonna go for it. And there's so many they're coming out with now. And I don't know what changed. I don't know why that's that, because I mean, Susan, you probably remember Hot Toys did not come out with things at this pace.
Not at this rate, for sure. No. Not at this rate. The thing that you have to do now is you almost have to make the excuse not to buy it. Like for me, I think this Savage looks really cool, and but I've passed on all the other Clone Wars figures. So like, what am I going to have one
What's the
from
point?
the Clone Wars? Like that's dumb.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm passing on this. Like that's the stuff that I have to do, because otherwise you're like, you have the Clone Wars line, you have the like Revenge of the Sith line, you have like all the different, because all of them are so good, and they have so many licenses now that they have everything. So also you can wind up with like 16 Jokers because of that.
True. No, it's true. And the thing too is, like, I remember like when they started like slowly pumping these out, I'm like, well, I can't collect Marvel anymore because there's just too many Star Wars like I want to get. And then it went to, okay, I'm just going to collect Star Wars. And then next you know, it's like, oh crap, they're really
every character,
every clone trooper out there, in many variants. Okay, all right, well, I'll just collect this line, or only the original trilogy. And then you're like, oh my gosh, there's more. Okay.
Only the original trilogy, but now they're putting out every single bounty hunter that exists in the whole original trilogy, every single monster, every single creature. Like they
Well,
Yeah.
and you know, and to be fair, like that's not the only thing that's coming out, right? Like
Right,
like
and-
Hot Toys is killing it. Sideshow's doing their own stuff, and they're coming back out with things again.
right.
So it's like,
And they've upped their game because
Yes.
Hot Toys upped their game,
Right.
and so they have to up their game. So everyone's upping their game, which is
everybody.
great. Like honestly, I like that everyone's upping their game because then it makes us. I mean, the only thing that it does is like if you have executive dysfunction like I do, I have to stare at them all and go like, which one?
Right.
But that's why I
Yeah.
have my list of characters where it's like if you're
For
not
sure.
a specific character that I collect, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're talking, I mean, Susan, that's responsible though. Like I don't think that's I don't think that's a trait
Don't
that a
be
lot
like
of
Please,
people in this,
can you repeat to my partner and my mother?
I'm just saying that I don't think that's a trait that a lot of people in this hobby have is. And so all I'm like Hot Toys doing this to some people, it's like, I mean, some people have 20, 30 pre-orders. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. You know,
This
and to
is
be
awesome too, by the way.
This is awesome. To be fair though, PJ, I mean, you know, a lot of people that are collecting 6 scale figures, they're not collecting a $1,500 Blitzway statue.
Yeah.
So,
Which is
so
equivalent
I guess that's
to like
true.
4 Hot Toys there.
I guess it's
So-
like if they have the room, I guess it's fine.
That's a great point there, Matt. So
This is
That's
killer.
true. There
This
is like
killer right here.
This is cool.
yeah.
you guys had talked about it. Like there is a separation. The person
is.
who's buying all the Hot Toys figures is also not participating
Usually.
in the Blitzway. Like
And they're not buying
$1,200
Regal
drop.
Robot pieces
Right,
for
exactly.
whatever that is. So
And they're
Yeah.
not
unless you're like
buying the
PJ
EF.
that buys
Yeah.
everything. Right.
Yeah, I think we say things to make ourselves, well, at least I say things to make myself feel better. I'm like, oh yeah, Hot Toys, they're coming up with so many.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get that 1/3 scale PCS and that Blitzway.
Because he's a junkie.
Okay.
And you're
what
like,
am I-
oh, but
what
I'm
am-
only getting 2 things. I'm not
Yeah.
getting the 15 things that Hot Toys just dropped.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind
I'm
of like
responsible.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what a true addict. Oh, what a true addict. What Matt you used to say? It's like crack. Is it just these are like
Oh yeah, it's crack dealers selling crack to people. Like that's I mean that's essentially what it is, right? Like it's really not hard. Like the stuff that Sideshow does, the stuff that, you know, distributing this stuff, Hot Toys, Blitzway, it's I mean it's got to be, it's like the easiest thing in the freaking world to sell to us.
And the fact that
Yeah.
it's all limited. So once it's
Yeah.
sold out, so you have, there's like a sense of urgency that you have to get it now.
Right.
You have to do it before you miss out. Don't miss out. Why would you want to
Mhm.
miss out? This is amazing. Look at it. Don't miss out.
Right.
yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
they obviously do that on purpose, right? I mean, Sideshow
Oh yeah.
will send out emails saying this is almost gone or whatever, right? They'll put on their website, this is almost gone. And you're like, oh shit, I've got to order this now. And so
Mhm.
you order something that you didn't need, right? Because you're
Mhm.
like, what if I miss out on it? It's just not hard to sell to freaking collectors. Like we're
No.
freaking idiots. We want all this shit. Like we want it now. Give it to us. Put it in our veins. Like it's just not hard. It's not hard.
No,
You know, it's like we're living in the projects and we can't help but get as much, you know, drugs as we can get. Like
you're
it just is
talking
what it is.
to a former dealer. So yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's the problem though. It's like we just constantly, you know, we're talking about this stuff. Of course everybody wants this shit and they want it,
Mhm.
you know, and so like the thing that I keep saying though is like what you were saying before, Susan, is and this is Thor, this comes back to what you say all the time is be patient.
Mhm.
You know, being responsible and patient about this stuff, it makes a massive difference in how you can live your life and actually pay your bills and still collect. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
To be-
they don't make it easy, but you got to figure it out or else
To be honest, like when I slowed down a lot, I was actually able to buy a TV that I have. Like I was able to buy a 4K TV, and I can't remember the last time I bought like a TV. It was like maybe 8-10 years ago.
Yeah,
and
sure.
what prevented me from buying a TV is my addiction to Hot Toys and statues.
That's what I'm saying. That's why,
um,
honestly, that's why PJ, I always mention Thor when I talk about this stuff because all the time that I've talked with Thor, all the time that we've done stuff and gone through all this collecting stuff, he's always been the guy that's been like, no, just wait. Like, just wait,
Yeah.
be patient.
Mhm.
It'll, you know,
It
it all
ain't going
comes
nowhere.
back around. It all comes back around.
He ain't going nowhere.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just such a smart thing to remember is that like you're not missing anything.
Mm.
But
You're not
Yeah.
missing anything.
I know. But
Yeah,
just really
that's really
quick, this,
smart.
this is really nice though.
It's very nice.
It's
It is
very nice. It's very cool.
After that whole speech,
It is very nice.
it
You're
is
right.
very nice.
Buy
Holy
it. You should
crap.
buy it.
Yeah, yeah. No, but this is really nice. Oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, do want to share this other one. Oh my gosh, they really they just bombarded like everyone in this
Yeah.
past week.
Oh
I
wow.
Balin's
Yeah.
color looks good.
It's cool.
Balin
A
looks
little
great.
soft.
Yeah, a
You know,
little bit.
because it from the prototype to the final production.
It's a
Still looks
big
great.
dude.
Who y'all want to replace him?
Oh my gosh.
It's such a bummer, dude.
I
It's
know,
such a
what a
bummer.
sad thing.
Because he was so perfect.
he was so good.
he was so
I
good.
got somebody. I've heard several people. I think Liv Shriver.
Yep.
Oh,
Liv.
yeah.
I've
sure.
heard that
He'd be-
one
he'd
too,
be
and he was
perfect.
the one I like
Yeah,
too.
he'd be perfect.
That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
No, this looks good. Yeah, like even in that. But I didn't think it was here. I think it was just announced last year. So
Do they have his apprentice out yet or no?
I think
no,
do they not?
no, no, it's on pre-order still, but it's
Yeah, I was
coming.
I was like, she pre-ordered for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love her.
Yeah.
She
Also,
got some real evil, bro. I mean,
She has a
serious.
darkness in her.
Woo!
But again, unique force user, so she's
Yes.
very interesting to
Yeah.
me.
and you know what? And that's why I've been saying it's like we need more female badass, like dark side users, because it is just
agree.
literally, it's just something about it. It's so unique and so different.
We
And
need Talon.
to be honest, like I said this before.
I would
think-
take Talon.
Honestly, I've said this before. The only way, because I know it's kind of split in the fandom with Rey and how people feel about Rey. I think if she turned to the dark side, because she has the Palpatine in her,
Palpatine.
oh my goodness, that would be so cool. And that's her
Okay.
journey of like fighting that dark side.
Would you love to hear my fan ending to Rise of Skywalker that
Sure.
nobody cares about except me?
No, we care.
Okay, so my fan ending to Rise of Skywalker is that because obviously I love unique or unique force users. I've mentioned that like 50,000 times just in this stream. I thought it would be so interesting since she and Kylo Ren were a dyad in the Force. We've established dyads throughout, like, you know, the Clone Wars and stuff like that. Like, there's other examples of dyads. Fine, they put a dyad in the sequel trilogy. Great. I also didn't like the Kylo Ren death. I thought it was dumb. Sorry, I wanted him to survive. I thought it would have been really, really interesting if they switched places. If he became good boy Kylo and she became a dark side Rey, and that was how everything ended. But that they worked together since they were a dyad to complete the prophecy that Anakin started at the very beginning of the prequel trilogy, because he was supposed to bring balance to the Force, right? That was his whole thing. Bringing balance to the Force is like there's a dark side and a light side working together. Kylo obviously was being pulled to the light. Rey was being pulled to the dark.
Wow.
So let them get pulled to where they need to go and then work together since they're a dyad to bring balance to the Force. The same way the brother and the sister did on that planet in the Clone Wars cartoon.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wow.
That's what I thought was going to happen, really.
I thought
it was going to happen
That's
too.
what
I was like,
I did too.
Wow, that's
And I was
actually
like, oh my God,
that
this
would
is
have been
so
a better
cool.
ending.
Rise of Skywalker is clearly about Kylo.
Well, and
my
they even
head.
teased it. They even teased it with the the bad Rey.
Yeah, with the dark
saber,
side.
with
Yes.
crazy-
The
And
little
why
like
was
But
that
that's
in
why
all
everyone.
the-
There
that
was
was
a
in
lot
all
of
the
people that thought.
marketing.
Yeah, that's
It
what
was
a lot
in
of
all the
people thought
marketing.
was going to happen, but it didn't, and it didn't.
Speaking of horrible gentle giant statues,
I know,
that one
holy
turned
shit.
out like absolute shit.
It's garbage. It's hot garbage.
It looks like
Another
she's
great
dental
example.
problems.
They made a
Another
dark
great
side
example.
Rey.
They made a dark side Rey.
It probably looked like that Umi doll from Trilogy of Terror.
It
Tell you,
Don't get
we could
Matt
flick through
started.
all night pictures of
It
Gentle
looks
Giant in
like she
hours.
has like it looks like she has dental problems, and then
Palsy.
the eyes.
Yeah, like she has palsy. So
Oh
there's
my gosh.
there's all kinds of Gentle Giant stuff that is just so good to look at.
So Galen Urso, what a
yeah.
neat announcement by Hot Toys.
I want it.
So is this an This is
I
an
want it so
exclusive to Celebration, so it'll only
No,
be
it says
Celebration, or is it-
worldwide exclusive. I'm sure it's
I
going
want
to
it.
be hitting
Oh,
everywhere. No, but I think you might be able to get it in Celebration there. I'm not
Yeah,
sure,
but why would I get it there? I would probably still order it, and then
Yeah,
like I don't want to bring it back from Japan.
yeah, no, that's just a
That
lot
would
of
take-
stuff. Well, I'm sure because on top of other things that you want to bring back, like from
Yeah,
Celebration,
they're gonna
so-
knock
stuff.
they're gonna knock this head sculpt out.
Yeah.
100%.
I want this so
It's
bad.
gonna be a killer.
What's the other one? Based Malbus is the other one that they should be releasing, and Cassian. Like those are the ones that's missing from that line.
Wait, Cassian?
Yeah.
They didn't announce Cassian.
No. I'm just saying they
Oh,
should.
okay.
They should.
That'd be great.
They should.
Oh.
They should. I mean,
Oh my
How
God.
they
will
haven't
just-
done a Cassian, like how they haven't done like a solid.
You have to know though that they have the rights to his like entire likeness and everything because of what
Yeah.
a huge fan Diego Luna is. So you know that he signed away his life to Star Wars when he got
yeah.
So
have you
the
not
fact
made that yet?
that exactly. So
It's
the fact that
crazy.
they haven't made a Cassian seems almost insulting to Diego
It's-
Luna from my perspective.
Completely insulting. It's unbelievable they haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
I do now.
That's actually why I asked when you asked me my top 3 movies, why I asked about shows, because Andor is like one of is incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait for season 2 to come out,
Me
and I'm
too.
sure there's going to be a lot of action in that one. Just
Me
leading.
too.
I heard it was nonstop and leading up to Rogue One. So
Yeah,
really,
that's what he says. Diego Luna says that it takes place over the course of 5 years,
yeah.
and that it
That's
leads
crazy.
right into Rogue One.
PJ, do you
Yeah.
think the Galen Urso figure will be him from the beginning of the movie or in his like Imperial,
It better be him at the beginning.
right, with the
Yeah,
white?
probably him.
Yeah.
in the beginning.
I
Or
just
they
wanna-
have a
it's gonna-
switch out, like because they did that with Jin Urso.
They
the
did do
poncho.
2 versions of Jin because I have
Yeah.
both of
You would
them.
literally have to change his clothes. They don't
Yeah, I
do
was
that.
like, they had 2 versions. They have 2 versions of Jin.
Have they ever done that where you actually have to take their clothes off and like put new clothes on?
That's the
Here's a new
exclusive
outfit.
version.
Here's the Barbie doll version where you
Can you
choose the
imagine?
outfit.
That's
I felt
And they-
weird, like Susan. I felt weird when I was collecting Marvel Hot Toys and I got the Black Widow and I was like brushing the.
Dude, that'd
like,
be incredible.
remember that? I was like, I don't know about you. I had that. I was just like, I think I
were
thought
brushing her
Thor this.
hair?
I was like, dude, I feel weird doing this.
Now, PJ, I was
Your
watching
hair.
one of our old open mics. You remember that Gal Gadot bus? Like, well, I don't know if it was Infinity. You know how like you go to the salon and they got one of those tubs and they lean and you got to wash your hair.
Oh,
They're
they
washing the
washed
bus.
your hair.
They
I
were
remember
washing the.
that.
I was like, these
They
people
full
washing
on
this.
had her in the
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
shampoo in it and all that kind of stuff. And then they blow dry and
Blow
brush
it,
it
yeah,
out.
the blue dry.
I
it,
said,
they
my
put
God,
product-
we
You
gotta
have to
groom
set-
these
you're-
things.
and you have to set the curls too
Yeah,
after
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Mhm.
See,
I
that's
said,
that-
Jesus.
talk about something that would make you never want to buy a product.
Yeah, well, can I
Don't
tell you?
don't show people
No,
that.
that's why I have no desire to buy like any of
Man.
those like live. Because all right, so when I was working for Queen and in San Diego Comic Con, I was setting up those busts.
But there's
I
so
just
many.
remember the freaking Doctor Strange.
I was
hair
gonna say
was
I
it-
almost bought the Doctor
Mm.
Strange one just because
It's-
It
They're
was
amazing. They're
so
They're
Susan, I know
amazing.
you. It looks great, but it was such. I literally was starting to put hair my own hair product
Mm, the
on that.
only
I'm
reason
like,
I
yeah.
didn't was because I get startled easily.
Mm.
So I was like thinking about the reason I didn't pull the trigger on it was literally because I was like, well, if I display it, it's literally going to scare the shit out of me at
Yeah.
least once a day.
Turn the lights off.
well,
Right. And I'll
you're
be
like, "Whoa."
and I'll forget about it and I'll
Yeah.
be walking to the bathroom at night or something and then like punch it or like do
Stab
like
it.
you know like attack it or
Right.
like do something like that, and then there goes all that money.
Oh
Well,
my
I,
God.
well, I
Stab
used
it in
to,
the face.
well, so here's the thing too.
Because
I
I'm
used to,
very jumpy and I'm punchy, so I'd instantly like go to like, oh my god, there's someone in my house, and like hit it. Like that's
well,
exactly what I do.
so Susan, like I actually, so I went to go and Thor. I think I told you this story.
That's
So
fun.
there was this local collector selling his brand new like life size Boba Fett bust, right? And
That's
I
different.
remember
That's not a human face.
no, check this out. So I
Okay.
was like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna go. He goes, oh yeah, come to my house. I'll go and pick it up. And Will, you know Will, right? Thor. He comes to the barbecue. So he's a big horror collector.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
I literally go in his collection room. He's like, hey, you want to see my collection? Sure. Susan, I started like, I was like, I need to go to church literally after this. There was like was it the Linda Blair's for Exorcist? Like she's like this. I'm like,
No.
okay,
Yeah,
that's
no.
not moving, right? But can you imagine like having
No.
like you're a horror collector, right? And then you're like,
That's-
oh, let me go get a cup of like water downstairs in my, in my
See, that's
from my
one of the
kitchen.
reasons I love horror movies, but I have zero horror
No, you can't do
collectibles
that.
Me too.
because I can't have them in the house. Because if I were to have like a Michael Myers in my house, I would do the same thing. I would like get freaked out and hit it at some point.
Well,
and it would
imagine-
fall down.
Imagine Infinity Studios. Like you have a Jason that has
Oh.
arms and has a
Right.
knife.
Right.
Like at some point you're
break
gonna
it.
shoot it. At some point
At
you're gonna
some
come
point-
downstairs.
Yeah, at some point I'm just gonna break it
I
because
mean-
I'll just be like,
Yeah, or call the cops. And, you're gonna,
or
and they're
call
gonna
the
come and be
cops
like,
on my figure,
right.
and yeah,
They-
and
Yeah.
make someone have like a really interesting day at their job.
And then they haul you
Yeah.
off to the asylum after that. And you're just like,
yeah, no, it's that's why I refrain from collecting horror.
Imagine
Yeah, I
having
can't
the
do it.
Balrog, the Infinity
yeah.
Suit, this 9
Oh
foot.
my god!
Yeah, the Balrog from Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
the-
the
Mhm.
bust.
the
Yeah,
bus,
yeah,
the
Yeah,
bus.
it's-
yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like this
Yeah.
And
big.
it lights up with all
What the
these
hell?
teeth and everything in there.
So then
Yeah,
you're
but
like in the
see-
middle of the night, you half wake up, and then there's like a demon in
no,
your
no.
room.
Yeah.
No,
But
but
see, that's different. That's different. collecting. Like, you've got to have so much room.
Have you ever seen this thing, Matt? I mean,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing
I've
is
seen it.
gigantic.
It's massive.
You know,
It's
yeah.
but
gigantic.
you know,
But that's like how do you even some of the Regal Robot stuff that they've come out with? I don't know how people how people collect this stuff like in mass, right? Because it's too big. It's the stuff is way
Yeah.
too big.
well,
And
okay,
so-
I was gonna say if I owned the battle, you know what I would say every night before I go to sleep or something in my PJs. You shall not pass. Okay, never mind. I'll just
No, just like yeah,
and
would
my
do the same
neighbors would be
thing.
like,
Light
what?
up. At least it lights up. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that would help a little
that's
bit.
your nightlight.
You ever seen this movie from the 80s called FX? Where this guy was
with
FX,
the no,
when
no,
he
no,
put
that's-
that werewolf by his door, like this guy was an FX, like did creature, and he built this full-size werewolf. And like when you open the door, somebody tried to break it, the werewolf kind of jumped. I mean, this thing looked real. You know what I mean? Like literally your heart would stop if you saw this thing. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Check it out.
Oh
Like
my god!
Google, like go on YouTube and put FX werewolf scene.
See,
Oh
the
my
thing too is
God.
like I love horror, and I know we're veering away from Star Wars, but just quick, I
Yeah.
love Star Wars. I mean, I love horror.
It's
movies.
Halloween season.
I know. I love horror movies, but the thing too is that I love watching it, but then I get scared after.
I get very scared.
Yeah.
I
Like
have to
literally,
have supervision.
Hereditary.
Not
Oh my god,
supervision.
Hereditary. Oh my gosh, the last 20 minutes of that movie. I don't know if you guys watched
Oh,
Hereditary.
I've seen it.
Oh,
I've seen
my
it.
gosh!
It's
And
like
to be honest,
can't
the
do
whole
that.
time,
The
like,
most
I'm like,
messed
what
up
is
stuff.
this? I'm like, what is this? This is like, what? It's a slow burn, but literally, the last 20 minutes of it, I was like,
but
oh
PJ,
my.
humans were made to see some of that kind of stuff, dude. Like honestly, like we weren't made to actually see some of the shit that they come out with. It's crazy. Some of the stuff
yeah.
is absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
The stuff that I can handle at night that I'm not gonna like not be able to sleep is like Alien Romulus, right? Like I watched Alien Romulus the other night. It was freaking fantastic. By the
It
way,
was. It was.
it was
Yeah.
so good. But I can handle that kind of stuff. That's not like horror, in my opinion.
yeah,
It's
that's
good,
like
but it's not
sci-fi.
horror. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was shown the first Alien movie when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I have like a childhood
You have
fear.
You have a
of
problem. You have a
of
serious
like a
problem.
problem. Like I've literally talked to my therapist about my problem with the
Because you watched it too early.
too early. Like
Way
I have
too
a
early.
problem with the xenomorph. Like, and even when they meme it, I have like a problem with it.
Oh my!
Too early.
It was too early, and it was like imprinted as the scariest thing
Yeah, totally.
in my head is this xenomorph. So like
See,
even when
that's interesting because I don't know why, but I was watching the thing that freaked me out when I was little was watching Michael J. Fox in the werewolf movie. What's it called?
Teen
Oh,
Wolf.
Teen
Yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not scary, but like for
Right.
some reason I watched that and flipped out, and now I still can't watch it and not feel like it's somewhat scary.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not.
Well,
It's
well,
crazy.
that's how I feel with Fraggle Rock, right? Because I
Not
remember,
Fraggle
I know
Rock,
it's
Jesus.
yeah, I know. You're
Not
probably
With
like,
Fraggle
PJ,
Rock.
you're
Fraggle
weird.
Rock?
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
so well, there's that big monster that ate the Fraggles.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
was
That makes
was
sense.
traumatizing. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
it's literally eating the why?
Okay.
Why is it eating it? And
All right, I
those
get
are,
it.
and then ever since even
At least
now,
you don't
like,
have to watch it again. I mean, you're
Yeah,
never
that's
gonna watch
true.
Fraggle Rock
Because
again,
like
right?
with me,
where is it?
I actually really enjoy like the Alien franchise.
Oh,
I
the
think
Alien
they're
franchise is
really
amazing.
good movies. So I had to watch Romulus, and then I had to have like I had to have my partner like stay over because I was like, please, 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 you can't leave me after I've watched this movie. I legit will think
It's
that
so good.
like
Yeah.
he's like, do you need a nightlight to like do we need to like leave some? I was like, no, we don't need to leave lights on, but like please don't like I don't want to wake up alone because
Yeah.
then I'll think like an alien got you, and like,
No-
like it's like a
I have no problems
deep-seated
leaving
fear.
lights on. I have zero problem leaving lights on.
Well, let's
Do what
just
you
say
gotta
like
do.
when I watched The Conjuring, you know, the basement in The Conjuring.
Oh,
Yeah.
I left lights on after watching
No
The
way.
Conjuring.
Yeah. Well, I have kind of like an unfinished basement like that, sort of, not really. But I just remember after watching that, I like refused to go down to the basement. I used to throw like my clothes down like the stairs. And my wife is like, why are clothes everywhere? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I just
I
don't want
get
to go
it.
down to the basement. I don't want to go down.
That's when you know. That's when you know you probably just shouldn't have watched that movie. Like when
I
it sticks with
know.
you that long.
I
like
love
the ring.
it. I
the ring
love
stuck with
horror
me way
movies.
The
longer
ring
than it
stuck with
should have
me
stuck with
too.
Oh
The
my-
ring,
Oh, can
the
I tell you a
ring
story?
freaked me
I
out.
can't-
Can I tell
can't.
you a story?
Yes.
Really quick story, and then we'll talk about our last topic. Oh my gosh! So I watched The Ring. Literally, I'm not joking you. Literally 7 days later, I'm like, I come home from work. I go down. I was living in my parents' house still. I come home from my work, and I told my mom, "Hey, I'm gonna go downstairs to the basement." And I was watching football, and I passed out. So, mind you, there were the old CRT TVs, just like in The Ring. So
Mhm.
anyway, I guess my mom came down and saw that I was watching, and I had the light on, and she just turned off the basement light. Mind you, I literally woke up. It was dark outside, and literally the the TV where it's like all staticky.
Yeah, all staticky.
It was literally that way. I woke up. I'm like, all right, it's exactly 7 days later. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm like, whatever your name is, Samara or whatever it is, just take me. Literally, I just like, I came to terms that I'm dead.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
die.
Then like after like waiting like maybe 10 minutes and nothing was happening, I actually had the guts to like stand up, go in the back of my TV and realize, you know how like, you know, with the cable TV, you had to screw it, but
Mhm.
you lost the screw and you only have that little like
Yep,
you
the
know,
pokey
wire
thing. Yeah. Mhm.
it fell out, and then
Oh my
I'm still
God.
alive.
That's
But
incredible that it
I
happened
literally
7
like
days
thought
later.
no, like seriously, I came to terms. I'm just like, okay, just take me.
Dude, I
Just
still
take-
look at blank TVs and think about The Ring.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, there's a
still-
blank
I
TV.
still look
you
at,
guys
like,
are
a
talking
TV and
about
I'm
it right
like,
now.
no.
There's a blank TV behind this device right now, and now I'm thinking about it.
I know, it's
don't-
horrible.
As long as it's not the old CRT TVs, I think you're okay. Where it, like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that was And you know what's crazy?
She's not bound by technology, PJ.
no, she's bound
can-
by the tape.
She can
It's the tape.
crawl out of anything that has
Oh
a
my
screen
God.
on it.
It's the tape.
Exactly.
Anything with the and if the tape
I'm
is
looking at my
digitized,
TV now, I'm like,
it can
oh,
come
boy.
out of that.
Dude,
and you hear that like is that little like
Yeah, the
oh
screeching.
my gosh.
They need to redo
Wow.
those, or not redo them, but do more of those. That would actually be
Oh my
cool.
Yeah,
God, they were so good. The
okay.
ring freaked me out so much.
Last topic for tonight. Great conversation, horror conversation, not Star Wars.
I was like, this is not Star Wars.
This is not Star. No, wait, no. I enjoyed these talks, but okay. So Star Wars generation. So this is the main topic. So the reason why I chose this topic because I just went to like a leadership conference recently, and basically the speaker was kind of like pretty much talking about like how to talk to team members and things like that, and just knowing the fact that in the workforce there are many different generations now. There's the baby
Yeah.
boomers, there's the generation X, then there's the millennials, and then you got Gen Z. So PJ, you're like PJ, what the hell are you talking about? Like, how's this relate to Star Wars? So I was
it
thinking about
does.
it, like, in terms of how you have to kind of like, as for me as in leadership, I have to like find a common ground to like how to talk to the baby boomers, the Gen Xers, which I am a Gen Xer, so it's pretty easy, and millennials and Gen Zers, and you kind of like figure. And I was thinking about it too. I was like, kind of like Star Wars right now is in that little stage right now where the baby boomers are still alive, the Gen Xers are still here, millennials are still here, and the Gen Zers are still here. So it's kind of crazy how everyone growing up in different eras in Star Wars experience Star Wars and how they perceive Star Wars, right? And I think that's the problem now is that like people who love the old trilogy might have a problem with the prequels, but also might have a problem with the thing.
But PJ, this is exactly why you've heard me say this before. I say this all the time that Star Wars, like time heals all wounds, right? Like I say it all the time, and I mean it when I say that, because when people say, "Oh, I don't like this" or "I don't like that," just give it time. At some point, they're going to like the sequels. At some point, they're going to like what that they're just gonna. It is what it is. It you don't have to like everything, but that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the thing too is like, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, and I wish more people online who are louder had that opinion.
Yeah,
because I get really like I feel personally attacked by people who are like, Star Wars is the worst fandom, and I'm like, go actually talk to Star Wars fans, because real Star Wars fans, everyone that I've met personally, like when I go to Celebration or when I do a podcast like this, we aren't actually like this. It's the vocal minority who do things like review bomb or like those ridiculous things that are just stupid. And a lot of them, by the way, aren't even fans. They're just jumping on a bandwagon that like they're like, oh well, we all hate this on the internet, so let's hate this thing. And I hate that. So like I totally 1000% agree with you, Matt, because we saw, I mean, I'm a millennial. I'm an elder millennial, but I'm a millennial. And I've seen the hatred for the prequels. Now I'm seeing the hatred for the sequels and the hatred for the TV shows. And like, but it doesn't matter, because like, I know that there's elements of that in everything. Like in the stuff that I love, I can pick and choose what I love. Now there's so much Star Wars that I can be like, okay, well, I liked this, but this wasn't for me. But that was for someone.
Yeah,
it wasn't for me. Yeah.
And I do think there's such a thing as too much content. Like, and that's okay. We can have these conversations, right? Like,
and that's what Marvel fatigue is. There was too much content.
We can have these conversations. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with there being too much content every now and then. And people saying, but it's still the same thing still applies. It doesn't have to be for you. It can be for somebody else. And that's what I don't think people understand. And look, I'm not, this isn't unique to me necessarily, but I will say that I also watch Star Wars through the eyes of my children, which means that they actually like a lot of these things. And it doesn't matter. Like who am I to say that that's a bad thing? Right. Like, that's fine.
And the thing too, is that like, and some content might be geared to more like, the newer generation. And some like, for Andor, like if you give like a younger generation to get them to watch that, they won't enjoy it because
It's slower for them. It's slower.
It's
for
a
them.
slower.
It's so intertwined with the original
Twine.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be for the older generation. But something like The Acolyte, which oh no, I said The Acolyte, like that wasn't for us. That was for a different Star Wars
generation.
viewer. Yeah,
Yes.
that was for a completely different Star Wars viewer.
I will say this too, PJ, and this is something, I mean, this might be a little more controversial than we need to get, but I will say that I think that this goes beyond just like whether content is like the story is good or not. And what, I think it goes also with them putting, Asian people in there and, gays and lesbians in there and all these like what you see the world around you as.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I think that is a big deal. And I think especially youth I believe especially youth can appreciate that kind of a thing because they know that when they go to their high school or they go to their middle school or they go to their elementary, they're seeing all kinds of people all the time, I would hope. And why shouldn't the Star Wars universe have everybody? I don't understand why people can't get this through their head. Why would you not have all kinds of religions, all kinds of people, all kinds of things? Like,
right.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree.
I don't get it.
And the thing too is that, like, for me, and looking at this, right, or being in this conference made me realize that, yeah, there's different generation, but the one thing too is that, like, I know, like, maybe certain specific content is geared towards this type of generation or that type of generation, and Acolyte and I think Andor are great examples,
right?
But then you come across Rogue One and The Mandalorian.
Oh, it's great.
And then
bingo.
It just
that's the one.
So
Mandalorian brought in a lot of people.
It did.
Yeah. So, and that's just my point too. It's like I get it. Like you are one, but also like you don't do that in the workforce. You don't go, hey, we're just gonna cater to this one generation and forget about the rest.
Right.
So why can't we get more of Rogue One? And I think that's the key.
I understand that.
And but mind you, we shouldn't hate on the Acolyte. We shouldn't hate on Andor. We shouldn't hate on those other things. They're not for you. They're not for you.
Fine.
Move on.
And this is
There's
what
other
stuff.
stuff.
This is what I say about like I don't like the child. I can't stand what
Susan,
it does.
close your ears.
No.
What are you talking? What are you talking about? I'm actually open to this opinion. I
just think
I'm like the most accepting Star Wars.
No, I was gonna say I was just joking, but I know you like
There's a reason for it. I think it changes who the Mandalorian has to be as a bounty hunter.
Okay.
And so all I'm saying is that, but here's the difference: is I'm okay saying that, but also understanding that my kids absolutely love absolutely love Grogu. And I understand why he's in there. I understand why they want him in that show. I totally get it. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't have to be the guy that has everything or wants, you know what I mean? It's fine. I have an opinion about it, but I do understand that there's other people in this world that have a different opinion to me about things. And that's okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
And so also kind of spin off of this exact topic. So with the Acolyte having the very diverse cast, actually so I'm half Korean. My mom is full Korean. The fact that one of the leads is a Korean actor that she knew from watching Korean soap operas made my mom, for the first time in my life, care about Star Wars.
Right.
So like that not only is for like, so that to me also is something really special.
He was
like,
freaking great too.
He was freaking great because it's like showing Asian people, Latino, and it reminded me of that story that Diego Luna always tells, where the reason he uses his Mexican accent when he plays Cassian Andor is because of the Latin representation in it.
Yeah.
Because people can look and be like, oh, he sounds like me. And like to have my mom have a Korean who was a Jedi master, like to her, that was so freaking cool.
And he
Big
did
deal.
phenomenal.
Finally-
Actually,
He
his
did so
acting,
good.
he
so
was
good. He
his
was cold.
acting in that show was
Yeah, he was
top
good.
notch.
I know, and my mom, and so it was like I can't ever hate the Acolyte as much as there were like you can fault it for whatever reasons you want to
Sure.
fault it.
Yeah.
I can't, because look at what
Right.
it did. It brought me closer to my mom in like a way that she's never understood the Star Wars
Right.
thing.
And
Yeah.
I can
now.
appreciate, I do appreciate the conversation that people have about, hey, I can accept all these things, but I just want them to tell better stories.
Fine.
That's fine. I have no
Yeah.
problem with that. I have no problem with you wanting a better form of storytelling or whatever. I just think you have to be careful, because I think there are plenty of people that actually like what the stories that are being told. And so
Right.
there's going to be different people that think different
Yeah.
things. That's okay.
And the thing too is, I just think we need more of, okay, that wasn't for me. That's totally fine.
Totally.
That's
Like,
totally fine.
for
And you know what?
example-
There's another show that will be for me.
Hope
For
so, yeah.
example, I could not for the life of me get through Book of Boba Fett. It took me like 6 months to get through that show
Wow.
because I was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this show can't decide what it wants to be. In theory, I should love this show. It ties directly into Return of the Jedi, which is one of my favorite Star
Yeah.
Wars
Yeah.
movies. I love Tamora Morrison. I think he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
It's him carrying a show, which he always should. It's, oh my God, Ming-Na Wen, who's like,
Mhm.
again, Asian representation
Yeah.
that I love. Like, there's all these elements are things that I should love. This should be a show for me, but I couldn't get into it.
But
at
there's
all.
somebody out there that wants to see Timur Morrison in his underwear all the time, right? Getting in and out of the back to tank.
Right.
I'm just saying, there's
Right.
somebody
Getting
out there.
choked out.
There's somebody out there that like it.
Black Chrysanthemum.
And then driving scooters with like 30 mirrors on them. Like somebody wants that. So like,
yeah, somebody wants that. Somebody
It is
wants
what
a
it is.
teenage biker
Yeah.
gang fighting Boba
Oh my
Fett
God.
in Mos
Oh my
Espa. Or
God. Yeah.
is there in Mos Espa in that
Yeah.
one? I don't remember which Mos they're in. They're in
yeah.
on
One of them.
Tatooine. Yeah.
But see, and the thing too is like, and Thor, and I definitely want to get your opinion on this, but like, if you look at this panel right now, we're all growing up, grew up in different generations too. But here we are talking about Star Wars. Like, I think we kind of like need more of that, where we could have difference of opinion and still be respectful to each other and just still be cool. Like, you don't have.
Yeah.
And I think too is that there's also a lot of YouTubers out there that thrive on hate content.
well, that's
That's what, honestly though, like
Yeah.
it's like all this
what's
stuff
becoming
is,
worse though, PJ, because they're I think a lot of these dudes out there that are
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe there's all kinds of people, but there's a lot of people out there that are realizing that they can get a lot more
views.
Yeah.
clicks, whatever, because of this kind of thing. And it's
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
gross, dude. I don't like it, man. I really don't like it.
I
Bothers
really
me.
hope that there's some sort, like I said, like
There needs to be more voices like the ones right here, and then the ones that because I'm in so many Star Wars specific groups online
Mhm.
that, and none of them are like this. Like, I'm actually in like an all female Star Wars group, like that's just
wow.
only women are allowed, and we only talk about like Star Wars, but it's only women are allowed in the group, and it's because like, sorry, I know you're all men here, but like you guys get a bad rap because sometimes
Understandably.
you
Yeah.
sometimes it's the men who complain about like, oh, Ray's
Always
this
no, but
way,
see,
or
here's
like
the thing too. Yeah, it's baffling too, because I know there's some things about like, like there's this stigma that like, men don't like women. No, it's not. It's
but the thing
it's
is, that's
just
not
it's a minority.
true.
It's not
Do you know
true.
how
It's
many men love Carrie Fisher?
yes, I love
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher. I love Sabine Wren. I love Ahsoka.
I
love what's her name?
Bo-Katan. I mean,
Bo-Katan, Hera, name them
or
all. Like the
Oh,
thing is that you're right.
Darth
Men
Talon.
get a bad rap for like hating on the women in Star Wars, and I'm like, first
no,
off,
we're actually
again,
more
Armorer.
no,
That's my girl.
who?
again,
The
no,
Armorer.
Armor.
the
Yeah.
armor.
Or
that's
Shin
my girl.
Hati. Like, oh my gosh, Shin Hati is like she's so like mysterious and cool and badass at the same time. Like, I love her. And the thing too,
Well, Logan was mentioning the stranger being Filipino.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
Filipino too.
which
So
is really cool that they have,
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah, and it's cool to see someone like
diverse.
like
And
from
also,
my
by the way, thank you so much for the acolyte giving us some like really, really great female eye candy for like women who like men because we don't get a lot of that in Star Wars. You guys got Carrie in the gold bikini. We haven't gotten
It's true. That's true.
that. And we
Yeah.
got, oh my God, Manny getting into that like hot spring was like, what am I watching? I know that I enjoy
And-
this.
And they had some, in my opinion, they had some of the best lightsaber fighting that
They
I
did.
Yeah.
seen.
They
It did.
absolutely did.
I agree
Yes.
with
It
that.
was so
I agree with that.
good.
And by the way, some of the best dark sideness like representation when he was like when he just like cut down all those Padawans and was like, oh, was that its name? Like
Darth
that was so
Plagueis.
dark.
Yeah. And so, for me is that like and the thing too is that it's such a shame because actually I don't know about you, but like to see a female Star Wars fan is like so cool, right?
Right.
And the thing too, that's what when I was growing up, it was I was ashamed to be a Star Wars fan just because it wasn't
I got
cool.
bullied for it.
Yeah, I
a
got bullied
lot
for it
because
too.
I was a woman who liked it, and I got bullied for it. Like I think I talked about it in my like collector thing with you, Thor. Like I got bullied for because I had a picture of Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia in my locker.
Mm.
Yeah, and there wasn't like a lot of females when I was growing up that loved
And
Star
now
Wars.
I'm in a whole group that's just women who like Star Wars.
Where were they when I was in high school? I'm just
I
kidding. I'm kidding.
know.
I was single for a long time, Matt.
Hey, that's okay.
I'm just kidding.
It
But
is what it is.
with the thing too is that like, and Thor, what's your thoughts on like the different generations and how like?
Well, I tell
what's
you, I learned a valuable lesson one time. My cousin asked me, she's younger, about 10, 15 years younger than me. And she asked me to DJ her birthday party one time. So I bring all this music that's argent, and they looked at me like I was stupid. So like, you just got to accept it. People want different stuff out of this than you do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We grew up in this generation. We like that. Okay, the next one, we don't really
Yeah.
like that. But we like this prequel stuff was pretty cool. There's more action and people flying around. So you just gotta accept it. Like you
Yeah.
stick to what you like. Or like you say, this don't work, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? But
Thor, also your philosophy on collecting applies to this as well. Like let it
Yes.
happen. Like it'll
Right.
come back
Yeah,
around. Like
yeah.
like there'll be something for
The-
you again. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Brilliance-
Exactly.
The brilliance of Star Wars, I think, and I've mentioned this a couple times before, that I think the brilliance of Star Wars and what George Lucas and some of these guys did was, if you watch Star Wars, it holds up. Even today, it holds up. Even the effects, everything. It's not like my kids can't watch. There's certain things they can't watch, right? They watch the original Willy Wonka, and it's different. They feel it's different. They feel like it's old, and so they don't want to watch it as much. And it breaks my heart, but that's how it works. And that's not the case with Star Wars. The Star Wars, for some reason, it holds up, and it continues to hold up generation after generation. I feel like, and I think it's going to continue. And that's the benefit, is that I think we have a saga of all these films that will hold up over time. And as time goes on, you'll see people that are sequel fans. You'll see people that are like only sequel fans. You'll see people that are prequelists.
And that's okay.
It's great.
Mhm.
And the thing too is like what I'm learning to accept more now is that and that's okay. It's
Yeah.
just you gotta accept the fact that there's more people that are wanting to be Star Wars fan as opposed to be not as many people wanting to be Star Wars fan. And it's different generations. You have to understand like this gen. What are we in Gen? I forgot what they're called.
Gen Alpha now.
Gen Alpha now.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Gen Alpha. They're going to be exposed to artificial intelligence. It's things that are changing. We can't stop it from changing, right?
Mhm.
The Gen Zers grew up differently from the millennials. Like we grew up
Yeah.
with beepers and like folding cell phones. They're growing up with
Muppets.
iPhones, right? And
Yeah.
iPads and things like that. And the Gen Xers grew up with TVs and rotary phones.
Mhm.
So it's you
Dude, they watched a guy. They watched a guy
you can't
that like wanted you to come like come to my neighborhood, right? What's
Yeah.
they watched like this way. Watch a guy like do a train, like send a train around. Like, dude, times have changed so much. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's going to continue going that direction, obviously. But like I said, the beautiful thing is that Star Wars is what it is. It's not like,
Yeah.
but let's not be those people that put blinders on people or put like
Right.
put like certain doors that you can't go through because
Right.
of whatever. Like no, like let's
Because you want them
for
to
everybody.
like Star Wars the way you do,
Yes,
and the
like,
way
Right.
you grew,
for
and the way
anybody
you
and
grew
everybody.
up.
Right.
See, the thing too is that like
They
the
got to
way
discover it the same way you
way
did.
you did
Sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So like I have a niece that's 10 years old, and like she loves Rebels because that's the only thing that she's ever
Right.
watched is
Sure.
Rebels, and that's the only like because that's like basically she can probably watch some of the movies now because she's 10, but like my sister is not a geek like me, so she doesn't know like what to show her or whatever. So I was like, give her Rebels, like just put it on Disney Plus and let her watch it. And so that's what she loves. And if you
Yeah.
ask her, she knows everything about Hera and Sabine, and like and her favorite is Chopper. Like that's Chopper's like
Mhm.
her droid. And I was like, I love this because I have R2, you have Chopper. Like we it's so great though that's how the first thing that you ever came to Star Wars was one of the cartoons. Like it wasn't one of the movies or one of the like epic scale things. It was just a cartoon.
Yeah,
And that's
and
totally
like I
a
said,
different
like
experience.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and we can't knock them down for experiencing Star Wars that way. We
Right.
shouldn't.
Right.
That's not our. It's not
Dude, at
way.
some point you're gonna find somebody that is a Star Wars Resistance fan. Like
Right.
there will be those people that grew up when watching that as their cartoon, as their
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
thing, and
I
they
always
love that
forget
shit.
about that show.
I
Yeah.
mean, everyone does. Everyone forgets
Yeah.
about Resistance, but there's gonna be somebody out there that grows up and is like, "That's my shit."
And
Right?
there's going
So
to be those little kids. Like, what's the like little Jedi Academy with like nubs?
yeah, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
there's going to
Yeah.
be because kids love nubs, and those are
Totally.
like little kids who like love
Yeah.
that little blue guy. Like,
Right.
Yeah. And the main purpose is that like what I got out of like in that conference is that like we can't just not get along with people just because of our differences, right? Like little
right,
differences, and because of the way we grew up.
Right.
And
Agreed.
you hope that there is like another Rogue One, another Mandalorian in the future in terms of content where
Sure.
it gathers everyone up and it hits everybody in the like from many different generations. And you hope that could happen more often, but then there's also content that's just not going to hit
Yeah.
that way, and you got to accept it. And the more you accept it, the more you'll enjoy life more.
Agreed,
At least, yeah. So, but great talk, everyone, and I really appreciate everyone's opinions. And that's one thing I love about doing this podcast is that I get to talk to many people from many different generations and talk Star Wars and enjoy talking Star Wars. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Susan for hopping on the show.
Thank you.
Um, you just know that we love you in the collecting community, in the pop culture community, and
love you back.
yeah, and we're very very happy to have you on the show. Please check her out. At her social media platform and also at El Hoffer Design. Matt, just real quick, I know you've been killing it. You guys have been killing it in Rogue One 6 with some of your some of the little videos that you guys have been putting out. And anything new coming on?
I don't know. I know I'm gonna unbox this C3PO head at some point. And then we'll do some more spotlights coming up. We've got some more stuff, and I think we've got another live next weekend or something. So yeah, we've got some stuff coming. So
All right, yeah. So please definitely check out Matt
Yeah.
and CC and Jason in Rogue One 6. Thor, when are those interviews?
Waiting on Norman. He got a whole lot of them coming out. I just live unboxed Doku the other day, so that's up on the
Nice.
channel.
That's cool.
Oh
And,
my God, Thor! I just realized that I forgot to follow up about something that I promised you I'd follow up on. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's all good. I mean, I
Okay.
don't even know what you're talking about, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then never mind. I absolutely did the thing that I told you I would do.
Yeah, so check that out. We unboxed that. Well, actually, with Lawrence Uhl is half Star Wars, half He-Man. He unboxed his I think it's Tweeterhead life-size He-Man bust.
Yeah.
And then I unboxed Count Dooku, and I'm sure we'll go live and do another chat one day, but
Nice.
So yeah.
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 All right, guys. So thank you to my guest for coming on the show. We'll be back again, same time, same place next week. Susan, such a pleasure. This is just like so surreal. I can't even talk right now.
Now that I know that it's like a Wednesday thing, I'll just ask me. I'll come back.
We would love to have you more on the show because yes, we love having you on the show.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you again for watching, and may the midichlorians be with you guys always and forever. Take care, everybody.
Peace, y'all.